Hello, guys, and welcome to the second episode of Diverse Dialogues with Arjun. So, it's been a bit of a break after the first episode, which was released in November. And Happy New Year also. I can explain why this delay was there. So, I actually had a bit of a hectic schedule in my college last year, and I had some competitions going on, some events going on. So, I did not get the time to, sit and make an episode, and I was lazy also. So, yes, I am guilty. I plead guilty. So, for this episode, I have brought one of my closest friends from college, Sudeshna, who is my batchmate, who is in the same friend group as me. We have a lot of stuff in common, and I think she was the perfect candidate for this particular episode. So, welcome, Sudeshna.
Thank you so much.
So, for this episode, we're actually trying to, talk about the last year, which is 2024. We are planning to recap some of the things that we've had last year, and we will also be talking about the year going ahead and what all aspirations we have. So, I think it's time to get into the episode. I think last year was something like, it was a lot of stuff, and I think we both had a lot of experiences individually also, family wise also, and together as friends. So, first thing I want to ask is about your experience in dancing in college for the first time in 3 years, and also about your achievements and how did you go about your dance journey in 2024.
It was not my first time dancing. First, I took part on Ethnic Day and I did some form of traditional dance of Kerala. I'm not sure, I don't remember it. So that was the only dance that I did engage in the first and second year. I did have thoughts of joining a team named Hayat in the second year itself, but I was not very confident and neither did I approach them. But in the third year, the leaders themselves asked me if I wanted to be a part because I had put a story out with one of my other friends who was in the team and they liked it. So they approached me, and if they approached me, obviously I wouldn't have said no because I wanted to do it in the first place. Yes, giving auditions was very overwhelming and very challenging for me because I hadn't given any auditions for dance ever as such in my life. And the choreographer of the team was also there, so there were a lot of steps that I forgot and my expression was just blank. But yes, I did get through, and it was a journey, I would say, in 2024 that I've had with a lot of competitions, a lot of achievements, and just coming out of my comfort zone.
That's nice. So, I think the first major dance competition that you had this year was Darpan. So, can you tell me how was that experience and what all other dance competitions that you've been to outside college or in college?
So I've never been regular in dancing ever. Yes, I like dancing, but professionally or for a team I've never danced before. And getting into Hayat and competing in Darpan was quite difficult for me because we had practices regularly for 2 to 2.5 months, and it was almost every day, even on weekends, even on holidays, almost every day after class. So it was very challenging physically, mentally, both. And there were times when I could not go home for the same, or I had to prioritize dance and not other things personally. So it was quite challenging, and there were times that I was very irritated. There were times that it showed on my face or on my academics or the other things that I was doing in life. So it did take a toll on me, but competing in Darpan and winning the first prize in the theme dance and winning the second prize in non-theme was like the dream, because Hayat is known for its theme dance, but it's not known for its non-theme. So after achieving that, I had forgotten all the 2 months, as in I loved the 2 months that I've had, and dancing on the stage when I saw my videos with expressions and the dance that I did. So all those 2 months were worth of dancing. And after Darpan, I went to two competitions, which is BITS Pilani and IIT Bombay. In BITS Pilani, we won the second prize, and in IIT Bombay, we came third. So we won both these competitions that we went to. And with Pilani specifically was very difficult but a rewarding experience because it was on short notice. I just went there for a day and I had to travel a lot, and then going there performing was quite challenging. And even for IIT Bombay, the train journey was an experience because we went in sleeper. It was quite difficult, and the day we reached, after 3 to 4 hours, we had our performance and one of our members backed out just at the last minute. So it was very emotionally challenging for all the people in the team, but nevertheless we won competitions, and our team and me personally, we were very happy about it.
I've personally seen your growth in the campus and how you talk to people and how you are with friends. And I think dance was a solid reason on why you opened up. Before this, you were kind of an introvert. You still are. You prefer to stay with less people, and you are happy with whatever you have. I've seen how much you practice, and the times where you've almost slept in class because you were tired from dance practice, and sometimes you had to go in the morning, sometimes you had to stay in the college till late evening. So I've seen how much dance has changed you for the good. And yeah, it's really fun to see how much you love dancing. So yes, kudos to Hayat, kudos to you.
Thank you so much. Also with dance, I would also like to talk about your music journey in Pain Protocol for the last year. How are you guys thinking about going ahead?
So for those of you guys who don't know, Pain Protocol is my band. We are a band of 7 members. What do we do? What all do we perform? I think we'll talk about all of that in another episode where I will, try to bring all of the members of my band for a conversation. So that is for another episode. So for my band also, like, we've had a big journey. I think as a band, we had a lot of pressure from the administration and also from our peers in the music society. So it was a reality that we had a lot of things to lose in 2024, and we also wanted to perform at various competitions and keep up the standard that Christ has set through our senior bands. So I think this year Darpan was a really rewarding experience, but it was also really tolling for us in ways more than one. We had to, sit in the campus till late night. Some days we've been there till like 10 or 11. Some days we've gone early in the morning to practice because that's when we used to get the slots. And as the competition was nearing, we also had to go to the nearby studios to practice. So Darpan was a really rewarding experience, and I think rewarding would be the best term for it because we put our heart and soul into it, and we were happy with the results that we got in the end. And I think after Darpan, we had a competition in our college itself, and after that, we skipped some competitions because we wanted to prepare for IIT Bombay. I think IIT Bombay was our dream for the past 3 years. Like for me, I remember my seniors going to IIT Bombay and winning the third place over there. And in the first year, after what I showcased as a temporary band, if you can put it that way, I was very sure that I would never even go to such an esteemed place like IIT Bombay. And I was not dreaming of going also. Like I saw the seniors going and I was like, okay, good for them. I don't think I would ever, make it till there. And then coming to the second year when I performed, I was happy with the way I led the band. I mean, of course, there was support of my other friends also. But I was happy with the way we performed, even though it was average. But I think we showcased a good performance. And I think that set us up to be more motivated to, go for IIT Bombay. So we had a prelims competition in Delhi itself. And we had a lot of difficulties. We literally had to go through a lot of obstacles to go for the competition, and finally we made it and we got selected. We in fact got the first place for the prelims. So we prepared 2 songs and we were really ready for it. And cut to December 2024, during the Christmas vacations, we head to IIT Bombay. It was a good journey, and we had a semi-finals and we gave a good show. We were really happy, and actually we made it to the top 8 of the country. I think there were over 40-45 teams. So we got selected to the finals, and then the plot twisted. So the day we had our finals at 4 a.m. in the morning, we got a message that due to the demise of the former Prime Minister Mr. Manmohan Singh. All competitions which were scheduled that day for Mood Indigo are cancelled, and that the further information would be conveyed to us later. And that just broke our heart. It was a really messy day, to be very honest, and I think it was very emotionally and physically taxing for all of us, because some of us were sick also. But then still we were preparing so hard, and we saw the message at 4 o'clock because that is when we had come back from the studio in Bombay, because we had gone there for the final practice, and it was very emotionally taxing to be in that situation, because it just felt like our dream of 2 years just came to a halt. So it was a big journey in 2024 with the band, but then I'm very proud of my boys and girls, and I think we want to perform for more shows. We also want to do more gigs outside the campus and generate some revenue, and we're also planning to record our song and release it. And yeah, these are some of the projects that we are really looking forward to this year. So yes,
I have seen the passion in you for Pain Protocol and for the band and how much you give in. And yes, the band has also had an exponential graph while competing in competitions and winning them. And for Mood Indigo, the getting to top 8 out of over 40 teams was the highlight. And you guys did really put up a great show.
thank you so much. That means a lot. So I want to ask you something over here. So we've all seen how much you've performed this year, and we're all really proud of you also for it. So I want to ask, on an emotional level or on a personality level, how much do you think dance has contributed to you in your life in 2024? And in general also, I wanted to ask how much your dance team and how much of your passion in dance has helped you to grow, and what all it has resulted you into becoming.
So when I initially joined the team, which was in July or August 2024, I could see the underconfidence in me as compared to other members who were there and had been dancing, and I was really demotivated at that point of time, but I did stick through because dance gave me that happiness, or just it was something away from academics and something to look forward to, something relaxing as well on some days. So I did stick through, and now there is a difference that I can see in my conversations, the way I talk, and my confidence. It really shows up. It's not just there in dance, but in my overall personality and how I conduct myself. So I think I've always struggled with assertion when talking to other people, and I'm not able to put my point forward. I wouldn't say that it has completely gone now or I'm completely good at it now, but I can see it improving and see myself being assertive at places that I have to be and that I should be. So it is still a growth graph that I'm having, and I'm really happy to see the improvement in me, which is definitely required in this generation that we are living in. So yes, I feel it has helped me in my personality, in my identity, how I conduct myself, and some of the factors in my life which I feel I lack, such as confidence or assertion. Dance has helped me in a way that conversations could not, and through the art of dance I could really showcase myself. So yes, that has been my journey, and I'm still growing and improving, and I am really glad that I got into the team and got out of my comfort zone.
I think you put it very perfectly. So kudos to you for that. So I think the next thing that is common for the both of us is the love for traveling.
Yes.
And 2024 was full of trips for you, and to a certain extent I've also gone out quite a bit. How was 2024 in terms of traveling for you? And I also want you to talk about what all you are planning to do in this year.
So 24 was the year that I traveled the most ever in my life. Yes, I counted it, and there were 7 places that I went to, 2 for competitions, and in Bombay it was not just the competition but also exploring Mumbai. Other than the 2 competitions that I went for, there were other places which I went with my family, friends and cousins. So I went to Dehradun with my cousins. There were trips with my friends to Nainital and Lucknow. I went to Mount Abu with my family, and again Kasauli with my sister. So there were a lot of trips and traveling this year, and 7 I feel is a lot in 1 year. Sometimes it was too hectic traveling when it's not in vacations. So sometimes it was too hectic, but I just love traveling, and once the journey starts I forget how hectic it's going to be or how hectic it has been. So just going to new places, exploring new places, and my love for food as well, that has made me go to these many places. It really feels like a break from the routine that I am following in college. So I always look forward to traveling, and it's very rare that I would say no to a trip which includes exploring the place that we are going to. And in 2025 I've already been to my hometown, which was after 3 years. Although I went to attend a wedding and I did not have much time to explore, but seeing my relatives and talking to them after 3 years was really overwhelming and emotional for me. So what with this one trip already done in 2025, I look forward to many more trips in this year and many more new places that I want to explore, talk to new people, go to new places, and have new food.
So, I think you put it in a really nice way about your passion of traveling, and I think, or I hope, that we also get to travel more this year. And for me personally, I think I traveled a bit more than what I thought I would end up doing, and I in fact traveled a bit more outside Delhi. And I actually started the year with the Lucknow trip that we had with friends for Holi. And post Lucknow, I traveled a bit around Delhi NCR, and it was a fun experience. And in the summer break, I finally made the plan to go to Nainital, for which you were also there and some of my other friends. After that, I went back to my hometown, Kochi. In Kerala also, I got the chance to travel, and that was a very rewarding experience. And post the summer break, I've been to Solan, which is in Himachal Pradesh, and I also got the chance to go to Bombay for the competition. And in fact, my family actually came to Bombay post the competition, and we were there till 31st, and then I think we came back after that. So this year it was a lot of rewarding experiences regarding traveling. I think traveling is a chance for me to escape from the realities of life or escape from the stresses of everyday life in college. And I think once you are in Christ, it's a saying that only Christites will understand what other Christites are going through. So I think we've had a lot of discussions with our friends regarding how hectic Christ is and how much traveling helps. So I guess that's about it for traveling. I think now that we've gone through, two major chunks of our recap, I think it's also time to go into what makes us Christites, which is academics. So, what do you think about it? And being my batchmate, what do you think about the career ahead in psychology? And now that the fourth year is also being added to our course, what all do you think it entails this year?
First of all, I feel psychology in India is confusing as in a career-wise or to get there as a psychologist, because guidelines are coming up each day and they are being retracted. So we do not really have a clear idea about what is going to happen in the future. So that is a bit scary and confusing at the same time. I am going to continue in the fourth year and then look for my master's. So as this year is added in our course and in psychology, so I feel in the fourth year I want to be more serious in my academics and study for entrances that are going to come up for masters. And I also want to apply to universities outside India which might have better opportunities as compared to India. So I am not restricting myself to India at this point, and I want to explore other places and see what fits the best for me financially and also my career wise. So yes, as in these 3 years in Christ have been fun, and it was mostly studying during exams. But with the fourth year coming, I want to be more regular in it, want to read more, want to study more, and just be more involved in academics. And I also plan not to do any other extra co-curriculars in the fourth year so that I can give all of my time to academics, and also because the last semester that we are going to have is completely an internship. So there wouldn't be time to do anything else. So that is about it. I mean, I'm still figuring it out, and all of my classmates, batchmates are also doing the same. So I do not have a concrete answer for academics, and let's see what's coming ahead as the days pass. What about you?
So, as you said, the career ahead in psychology is a bit of a mess right now here in India. We can see policies being added every month, and in the same pace that they are being added, they are being retracted also. So, it's a bit of a curry situation here, and I hope that while we go ahead in the fourth year, things become a bit more clear. And as far as fourth year is concerned, I think I am planning to make studies a bit more of a priority. Like, I know it's difficult to, just focus on academics without any co-curriculars. But I think I want to explore that part of college also. And I want to go to the library more often. And yeah, I also want to look up the further courses that are there in and outside India. And I also want to prepare for the entrances that are upcoming. So I think academics wise is still a preparation phase. And I hope that by the end of the fourth year, we are more clear on what to do and where to go.
So, as we have talked about co-curriculars and academics as well, there is one more aspect in your life, which is content creation, which you really like and want to do more in it and want to give it more time. So, are you able to manage that, or are you able to give time to it or learn new things for it? So, how is that going?
So I think in 2024 I set the foundation for content creation and what all avenues I do want to try to continue posting and trying to make a side hustle out of it, if you want to say, put it that way. So I think this year I want to make the podcast more regular, and I want to try to put out like 2 or 3 episodes a month. I know that is very ambitious, but I can aim at least that, so that I can make it more regular to at least 2 episodes a month. And I also want to, promote this podcast more. So maybe it is by creating trailer clips of the podcast and promoting it in social media, or creating content for the social media handles so that I can get more people to tune into the podcast. So it's a bit technical, but at the end of the day, I want more people to tune into my podcast as well. And I hope that I can better my content as I go ahead and not worry too much about perfection, which is something that I struggle with. I also set up a website for myself where I can post, and I also have my Instagram account. So I want to put out more reels. I want to get into a bit more of graphic designing and filmmaking, and I think I get to talk about it more in the upcoming episodes, and I also hope that I can make these things more consistent. And yeah, I think that is all about it. And last but not the least, I think a lot of base for the things that we talked about, be it dance, music, content creation, or be it traveling, I think a lot of funding for those things come from family. And my relation with family last year was not so regular, I feel. Like, I was a bit irregular in contacting my family. I used to get caught up in the work over here and the people over here. So it was a bit of a out of sight, out of mind phase. And I wanted to, and I was really guilty of those things also. But I just could not find the time to, regularly call. And I think this year I've sort of figured that out. And I think this year I've promised myself to, make my parents and my sibling more of a priority and be more consistent in talking with them, and be more in contact with them and be more close to them, because I think after fourth year I might have to move out to another place or potentially outside the country, which will make the distance between me and my family more. And I also want to maintain a close relationship with my relatives with whom I regularly talk to and get the chance to meet when I go home. So I think this year is more about reconnecting, if you want to put it that way. What about you?
So, as my college is in Ghaziabad and my parents are in Delhi, it's easier for me to keep in touch and to talk to them. I also prefer going back to my home every weekend to meet my parents, to meet my sibling. So it is just, for me, that is my escape from reality, from college, from friends, and from whatever is going on here. Because at home I don't have to use my brain much. I don't have to take much stressors or be in tension. I can be carefree there. So I really enjoy going to home every weekend. But with dance practices, there were times that I could not go home, not just on weekends, but also in other holidays. So yes, for me, it has been easier for me. But at the same time, there were times when I was confused whether to stay here for myself or for my friends or go back home. So there were times when it was difficult for me to come to a decision. But yes, mostly I feel I have prioritized going back home and weekends, which I have no regrets about and which I really like. So with 2025 here, I want to spend more time with my family as my parents are retiring in a few months and they'll be shifting to Odisha. So I want to spend more time with them, be more close to them, because after this I'll only meet them in vacations, which will not be more than twice or thrice a year if I'm in India, and if I'm somewhere outside India it'll be even more difficult. So I don't want to have any regrets for myself that I could not talk to them much or did not spend much time with them. So I want to give them more time and make them a priority even with whatever is going on in my life or in my college.
That's very touching, and I hope that you get to be more close to your parents this year and also get to have a good time while they are here in Delhi. And guys, that brings us to the end of this episode. We went through a lot of topics for this roundup episode, starting from dance, music, to content creation, traveling, and family. I hope that at least some of you who tuned into this episode found some inspiration from whatever we talked about, and know that it's never late to change your life, and any day is a perfect day to start changing your routine. It's always a pleasure to talk with you, Sudeshna, and I thank you once again for collaborating with me for this episode. This podcast is available on all the media platforms such as Spotify, YouTube, Gaana, Audible, Amazon Music, and much more. And you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Thank you for all the love you guys have shown me for this podcast, and I genuinely hope that you all continue to show this love for the upcoming episodes as well. You can hit me up on Instagram if you have any feedback or wish to hear about some topic through this podcast. Until the next episode, this is your host Arjun signing off.